I hate this, man. I really hate this. So basically, a few days ago, this guy tweeted a picture of Billie Eilish. I think she was like going to the shops, or she was like dressed in like casual stuff. And the tweet said, Billie Eilish has developed a 30-year-old mum body. No, Billie Eilish has developed a 30-year-old wine mum body. I think this tweet was from a man, but I actually don't know. And I'm not gonna look into who the tweet was by that much anyway, because I don't approve. So I'm just not gonna give them the attention that they want. Since that tweet, you know, Billie Eilish is trending on Twitter and everyone is talking about this 18-year-old woman's body. That's weird, you guys. It's pretty gross. Billie Eilish's body is none of our business. It's nobody's business except hers. But a lot of people on Twitter were supporting her and were pointing out how gross it was and why it was bad to say things like that. So there was lots of support there, but that doesn't take away from the fact that like a whole day, if not more, because it's been a few days since then, has been spent talking about an 18-year-old's body. Can we not? Let me just say that I am a 29-year-old woman who has struggled quite a lot with body image in the past, as I think most people do. I've been dealing with some of this stuff since I was a child, and I feel like I've learned a thing or two about how to cope with these sorts of things. I'm still definitely like on that journey, but there's definitely a few things that I've picked up that have improved my mental health to do with body image, and I will definitely share those with you later on in this video. But when I was a teenager, if I had seen all this stuff on Twitter, I 100% would have internalized all of those messages and felt terrible about myself. It could easily make me spiral. Watching these people judging a person's body, I would then, you know, criticize myself. Especially if I looked anything like that person that was being criticized. That has probably happened for so many of you. If you watched that all unfold on Twitter and you saw the Billie Eilish picture and you saw the tweet and you look anything like what Billie Eilish looks like in that picture, which by the way there's nothing wrong with, but I'm not going to get into describing an 18-year-old's body on a video. I'm just not going to do that. But if you look anything like how Billie Eilish looks in that picture, you're gonna feel terrible about yourself because everyone's talking about how wrong your body is on Twitter. Not to mention obviously how shitty that's gonna be for Billie Eilish herself. I think this is really fucked up, and I think it leads to really poor body image for people who are consuming these messages, but also the people who are actually putting those messages out into the world. So my first bit of advice would be, stop criticising people for their bodies or the way they look. Stop criticising people's appearance. It might seem like it's not that big a deal, that it's like not harming anyone if you say something in your own living room about someone that's on TV, but honestly it does make a difference. I have been so guilty of this in the past where I've talked about a famous person's weight or how they look in some way, and I didn't really think that it mattered, but it's doing nothing for my own body image. The more you criticise other people, the more you open yourself up to that criticism internally. It's like you're saying it's okay to talk about people's bodies like that, so it's okay to talk to yourself like that. It's just bad juju, basically. Don't put it out into the world. Just get rid of it. Another piece of advice I would give people if they are like affected by the situation on Twitter or just affected by like bad body image in general, really look at who you're following on social media, like on Instagram. Really look into that because it's up to you. So I would definitely recommend following people who look like you in some way. If you're following people who make you feel shit about yourself, unfollow them. You're in charge. There are so many people online of all different shapes and sizes, different skin tones, people with disabilities. You will find people who look just like you and who represent you. And it's gonna make you feel so much better to see someone posting a picture where they're super confident, they're wearing like an amazing outfit or their makeup's amazing or whatever it is. And you can see that like it's okay to look like that. Representation really matters. I am not the first person to say this. People have been saying this. So take it into your own hands. Really, really look at who you're following, why you're following them, and how they make you feel. Do like a big audit of your social media follows and just get rid of the ones that make you feel bad. My last bit of advice on this, if anyone's still listening, is to stop obsessively talking about your body shape, your weight, how you want to lose weight, the diet that you're going on, how you feel really fat today, just try to talk about those things less. This is really difficult, especially if you're someone who has really obsessive thinking patterns like I do. But listen, what you're doing is convincing yourself that these things are far more important in life than they actually are. In a way, you're also almost apologizing for yourself or your body, like before anyone else has a chance to criticize you. You know, if you walk into a room and the first thing you talk about is the diet you're going on, it's kind of like you're saying, sorry about all of this, but don't worry, like I'm doing something about it, so it's gonna change. You just don't have to do that. Also, nobody was gonna criticize you. People really don't care that much. Apart from that guy on Twitter, like a couple of people on Twitter who are like dicks about it. But I don't even think they care that much. It's probably more about how they feel about themselves. You have so many interesting things that you can talk about. You don't have to talk about how you're gonna have like an only soup diet for a week. Also, please don't go on an only soup diet for a week. That's terrible. But mad diets is like a completely different video, so let's not get into that. If you're bringing it back to Billie Eilish, this is again an 18-year-old woman who is being criticised for how her body looks from a random person on Twitter, and the way Billie Eilish's body looks has really like far down the list of the most interesting things about her. She is one of the most successful artists around at the moment. She's super talented. She's also like got a huge amount of fame at such a young age. Do you not think there's so many interesting things that you could talk to Billie Eilish about other than her body or her weight or her appearance in any way? And you should think about that for yourself. There are far more interesting things about you. Like, you don't need to talk about the diet that you're going on or how your body looks. You just don't. There's so many more important things. And if you try to shed some of that and talk about it less, I guarantee that you will feel better. Like, I promise you will feel better. If you don't feel better after doing this, come back to me and I will give you a tenner. That's how sure I am that you will feel better. Also, I probably won't give you a tenner, but it's just it for emphasis. I mean, this is about Billie Eilish and the tweet and the body shaming, the fat shaming, all of that. But it's also just about trying to navigate through the world that is kind of messed up, especially for young women and young people who are trying to have like a positive body image. It's so difficult, and I have tried to do all these things like in the past sort of 10 years with varying success, but I do think it overall has made my life a lot better. So if I can pass that on to anybody, you know, I would feel really good about that. So I hope that that's helpful. Ignore the nonsense on Twitter, like don't engage with that, because it is nonsense and it is a minority and it really is more about how people feel about themselves. So let's break the cycle of criticising people for their bodies and criticising ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this video or got something out of it, and yeah, subscribe if you want to, leave a comment, let me know what you think.